sole purpose of protecting Dad. Ms. O'Connor, do you think that this text message would lead this committee to get further information about the business dealings of Hunter Biden and how that actually links to Jim Biden, the president's brother, and why they are so concerned with protecting Dad, a.k.a. Joe Biden, a.k.a. the President of the United States?
Yes.
Thank you. Next slide,
Members
please.
of Congress, all of us in this hearing are not under oath, as we are presently covered by the speech and debate clause. Isn't that correct, Professor Gerhardt?
That is correct.
And the speech and debate clause covers all statements by a member of Congress, whether they are factual or not. There are only 4 people in this room that are presently under oath in their testimony. And those are the 4 witnesses here today. Is that correct, Professor Gerhardt?
That is correct.
And so the
AOC completely loses her cool during a fiery congressional hearing after Representative Byron Donalds drops bombshell evidence connecting Hunter Biden's business deals directly to the Biden family. As Byron calmly lays out the money trail, AOC's outrage turns into visible regret. What follows is pure political drama, tension, exposure, and fireworks on full display.
Order. Down here. Mr. Chairman.
Chair recognizes Mr. Donalds for 5 minutes. You'll have 5 minutes. You will
It's not
have
my
all
5
the
minutes. A
time.
point of
No,
order.
you're out of order. You're out of order, Mr. Goldman.
I have a
when
point of order.
when your time is,
I
you will
asked
be
to
recognized.
introduce
Chair
something by
recognizes
unanimous
Mr. Donalds
consent.
for 5 minutes.
Is it being introduced?
Chair recognizes Mr. Donalds for 5 minutes. Byron, it's your
Chairman,
time.
the rules require you
Thank
to
you, Mr.
recognize
Chairman.
me.
No.
Yes, for a point of order, they absolutely do.
Chair recognizes
rule
Mr.
on
Donalds.
the motion.
And is
You've
Mr.
already
Donald's
made
time
2
ticking
points
too?
of order.
No,
Chair
Mr. Donald's
recognizes
time
Mr.
is not going to take. Actually, Mr. Chairman, I request this clock be set back to 5 minutes so we can.
Clock back to 5 minutes.
Mr. Chairman, can I just make a parliamentary inquiry then? Are we not to make points of order on either side during
You
the
keep
questioning?
speaking about no evidence. Why don't you all just listen and
I'm
learn?
trying to introduce evidence.
You've already introduced. You've already had your
Is it in?
share of evidence.
Are you
Now,
admitting
Mr. Donalds, 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Dubinsky, I want to come to you quickly. A lot of talk about evidence. On the screens in the room, we have an organizational chart from the IRS investigative team that was looking into the business practices of Hunter Biden and his associates. This org chart is from 2014. Now, Mr. Dubinsky, when my former life, I was in community banking, and I'm comfortable with looking at organizational charts. When I first saw this chart, the first thing I thought about was a real estate holding company or a developer, and this is not to demean developers in the great East State of America, but developers typically have multiple companies that float with various business interests and business lines. But the funny thing is that in the business dealings of Hunter Biden, there is no real estate, none at all. So, Mr. Dubinsky, in your professional experience, looking at this organizational chart of business structure, what do you see here?
I see a very complicated structure of entities that are interrelated and would give me concern. If I were an investigator, I would want to know what's going on in these entities, who's behind them, how's the money moving between them, and what is this?
It was supposed to be just another tense but routine day on Capitol Hill. Another hearing filled with political talking points, predictable arguments, and the usual partisan clashes. But what unfolded between Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC, and Representative Byron Donalds quickly became one of the most talked about confrontations in recent congressional history. What started as a fact-finding session about Hunter Biden's overseas business activities transformed into a dramatic clash of personalities, ideologies, and temperaments, a moment that captured everything people either love or hate about modern American politics.
Substance of the transactions. What's really going on here?
Mr. Dubinsky, do you think it's in the interest of this committee that is now in an inquiry phase to actually find out all of the flow of money between these entities and what the purpose was?
Absolutely.
Next slide, please. For my colleagues on the other side, we're going to start talking evidence now. This is now a slide of the organizational chart of the Hunter Biden business companies and with associates from 2018, from the same IRS investigators who were broke down the business structure in 2014. Does this slide cause you the same concern, Mr. Dubinsky?
Yes, it does.
Okay, now let's talk about some more. Actually, one point I want to make on this. Ladies and gentlemen, and I know it's kind of small, so I would love to submit, I will submit all this for the record. I would love my colleagues on the other side to see this. In 2014, one of the key owners was Devin Archer, who did testify and was under deposition under oath by the Oversight Committee. In 2018, Devin Archer is no longer listed, but his wife, Krista Archer, is now listed. Mr. Dubinsky, when you see a situation where ownership interest moves from one spouse to the other, is that a concern of some level of fraud potentially?
I would call it a red flag. That's something I would look at and again, try to get to the bottom of what happened there. Was it just transferred? Was there money behind it? What was going on?
Okay, thank you. Next slide. Now, this is to a text message. This is a text message between, it's going to Naomi Biden. That's what this one is. Hold on, wait, so let me get my stuff back. There we go. Sorry. This is the WhatsApp text message between Jim Biden and Hunter Biden. In this text message, it clearly says, anyway, we can talk later, but you've been drawn into something purely for the purpose of protecting Dad. This is between Hunter.
The hearing began in the usual way, members taking turns to present their prepared remarks. AOC sat confidently, flipping through her notes, clearly ready to challenge whatever narrative the Republicans would bring forward. Across from her sat Congressman Byron Donalds, one of the GOP's rising stars. Known for his calm delivery and ability to stay composed even in the most hostile environments, as his turn came. Donalds adjusted his microphone and began speaking with the poise of a man who had done his homework. He presented a series of financial documents, emails, and timeline charts that, according to his team's research, linked Hunter Biden's foreign business dealings to other members of the Biden family. He emphasized that the evidence wasn't speculative or politically manufactured. It was derived directly from subpoenaed bank records and verified testimony from witnesses. The tone in the room shifted instantly. What had been just another political debate was turning into something much more serious. Donalds calmly began, outlining a series of transactions, money that appeared to move from foreign entities into shell companies, which then paid members of the Biden family in what he described as a pattern of financial benefit. He wasn't making accusations of guilt, he clarified, but rather laying out facts that demanded answers. He cited specific figures, dates, and account transfers. He mentioned emails referencing access to the big guy, a term that had long fueled speculation in political circles. The tension in the room became palpable as cameras zoomed in on AOC's expression. She was growing visibly frustrated, fidgeting in her chair, tapping her pen against her notes. When Donalds displayed one chart showing a direct link between Hunter's consulting firm and another account tied to a Biden family member, AOC finally snapped. Interrupting him mid-sentence, she accused him of spreading misinformation and weaponizing the Oversight Committee to serve partisan goals. Her voice rose with every word, echoing across the chamber as staffers exchanged nervous glances.
Biden and Jim Biden. Last time I checked, the father of Jim Biden and Joe Biden is now passed away. So I'm assuming this is Hunter Biden saying to Jim Biden, the president's brother, that you've been brought in this for the sole purpose of protecting Dad. Miss O'Connor, do you think that this text message would lead this committee to get further information about the business dealings of Hunter Biden and how that actually links to Jim Biden, the president's brother, and why they are so concerned with protecting Dad, a.k.a. Joe Biden, a.k.a. the President of the United States?
Yes.
Thank you. Next slide, please. This is a text message between Hunter Biden and Naomi Biden. And this one is a famous one. Everybody knows this one. This is a famous one that says, I hope you all do what I did and pay for everything for this entire family for 30 years. It's really hard. But don't worry, unlike Pop, I won't make you give me half your salary. Mr. Dubinsky, if you saw a text message like this in a potential money laundering operation or a potential pay-for-play operation, would you be looking for information related to money going from son to father?
Absolutely, without a doubt.
Thank you. Next slide. Oh, this is a fun one. Ladies and gentlemen, this one is from 2018. This is about 4 months before Joe Biden launched his campaign for president of the United States, December 2018. The highlight is, this is a text message between Jim Biden and Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden was in a bad way, by the way. He was really strung out. He lost a bunch of money. He needed help. Jim Biden says, this can work. You need a safe harbor. I can work with your father alone. It'll probably take several months and everybody can read the text. Ms. O'Connor, Mr. Dubinsky, if you saw text messages like this between the president's brother and the president's son, wouldn't you be concerned about them trying to give plausible deniability for the president of the United States to not have any knowledge of said business dealings?
It's worth.
Gentleman's time's expired, but please answer the question.
It's worth investigating.
Mr. Dubinsky?
I would agree. I would investigate this.
I yield back. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Gentleman yields back. Before I recognize Mr. Christian Morte, Mr. Goldman, I will give you an opportunity to quickly recognize you for your point of order.
I just want to make sure that page 131 of the transcript of the Devin Archer interview is entered into the record.
Without objection, so ordered.
Serious. And the prospect of impeachment is also a gravely serious matter, which has been echoed by our witnesses today. And any serious impeachment investigation or inquiry relies on firsthand sworn testimony of witnesses to high crimes or misdemeanors. Today, the Republican majority has called in 3 witnesses to advance their case.
In modern politics, perception often outweighs policy. The clip of the exchange spread across social media within minutes. On X, formerly Twitter, one user wrote, "Byron Donalds just gave AOC a masterclass in composure." Another wrote, "She walked right into his trap, emotion versus logic." And Logic One, cable news networks replayed the moment on loop, each side spinning it to their narrative. Conservative commentators praised Donalds for his restraint and professionalism. Liberal commentators defended AOC's passion, saying she refused to let bad faith attacks go unchecked, but regardless of which side people stood on. One thing was undeniable: the visual impact was devastating for AOC, her outburst, while human and emotional, came across as losing control under pressure. Donalds, meanwhile, looked like the embodiment of calm authority. What made this confrontation stand out wasn't simply the substance of the evidence, though that was significant, but the stark contrast in tone. Donalds demonstrated how composure can be a weapon more powerful than outrage. Every time AOC raised her voice, he lowered his. Every time she interrupted, he paused. And every time she tried to turn the hearing into a moral crusade, he brought it back to the documents. It was a strategy not just of information, but of psychology. Letting the opponent defeat themselves through emotion, political. Insiders later noted that this exchange might mark a turning point for both lawmakers. For AOC, it was a reminder that passion must be balanced with precision, that even a valid argument loses weight when delivered in anger. For Donalds, it was a breakout moment that elevated him from being a strong party voice to a potential national figure capable of commanding a hearing room without theatrics.
Mr. Turley, I have a simple question for you. In your testimony today, are you presenting any firsthand witness account of crimes committed by the President of the United States?
No, I'm not.
No, you are not. Ms. O'Connor, you are the second Republican witness here today. Have you, in your testimony, presented any firsthand witness account of crimes committed by the President of the United States?
I have not.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Dubinsky, as the third and final Republican witness in this hearing, have you, in your testimony, presented any firsthand witness account of crimes committed by the President of the United States?
I have not.
And Professor Gerhardt, given that you are the minority witness, I assume the same, correct?
I'm not a fact witness, correct.
Thank you. And to clarify, 2 individuals presented today who do have firsthand accounts surrounding the progeny of these allegations are being blocked from testifying by the Republican majority. And I want to explain why this is important. Members of Congress, all of us in this hearing, are not under oath, as we are presently covered by the speech and debate clause. Isn't that correct, Professor Gerhardt?
That is correct.
And the speech and debate clause covers all statements by a member of Congress, whether they are factual or not. There are only 4 people in this room that are presently under oath in their testimony. And those are the 4 witnesses here today. Is that correct, Professor Gerhardt?
That is correct.
And so the direct testimony of the 4 individual witnesses here today are the bona fide words that this committee must use in order to proceed or substantiate an investigation. And I want to emphasize why that's important. Earlier today, one of our colleagues, a gentleman from Florida, presented up on this screen something that appeared to be a screenshot of a text message containing or insinuating an explosive allegation. That screenshot of what appeared to be a text message was a fabricated image. It was a fabricated image. I don't know where it came from. I don't know if it was the staff of the committee, but it was not the actual direct screenshot from that phone. And in fact, I would like to submit to the committee the actual full context from the Ziegler Affidavit number 1, Exhibit 402, of the full text of that exchange. Do I have permission from the chair? Importantly, what was brought out from that fabricated image excluded critical context that changed the underlying meaning and allegation that was presented up on that screen by this committee and by members of this committee. Now, they are well within their right to do that because they are covered by the speech and debate clause. This was not submitted by a material or fact witness under oath. That was not submitted by a material or fact witness under oath. The impeachment inquiry, any impeachment inquiry, regardless of party, is an extremely serious matter. Professor Gerhardt, in the impeachment inquiry under...
By the end of the day, AOC's fiery reaction overshadowed the very point she had tried to make, that Republicans were exaggerating the evidence. Her emotional defense, though well-intentioned, came across as a meltdown in the face of inconvenient facts. Meanwhile, Donald's steady presence made him look like the adult in the room, the kind of lawmaker Americans often say they wish they had more of: focused, composed, and unbothered by political chaos. As the hearing adjourned, Donald gathered his papers quietly, exchanged a few words with staffers, and walked out without comment. AOC lingered behind, clearly frustrated. The cameras caught her rubbing her temples and muttering to a colleague, an image that would later headline dozens of articles under titles like AOC loses her temper as Byron Donalds exposes Hunter Biden evidence in a world where political theater often overshadows truth. This confrontation became a case study in contrasts: emotion versus logic, outrage versus restraint, noise versus composure. AOC's passion has always been her strength, the energy that draws millions of followers. But on this day, it became her vulnerability. Byron Donalds, on the other hand, showed that in Washington, power often lies not in who shouts the loudest, but in who stays silent the longest before speaking. His calm dismantling of AOC's outburst turned what might have been a forgettable committee meeting into a defining political moment, one that reminded viewers across the nation that control, not chaos, wins the day. In just a few minutes, the hearing stopped being about Hunter Biden. It became something larger, a mirror reflecting the current state of American politics, where truth often fights to be heard over the roar of emotion.